Hello, we're looking into something that might be hiding in your pocket change or coin jars right now. Those seemingly ordinary pennies that we often overlook could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. I'm talking about the 2003, 1961, and 2015 Lincoln cents that have captivated collectors and made headlines at major auctions. Unlike those clickbait videos promising riches from common coins, these pennies are legitimately valuable for very specific reasons that I'll explain in detail. So before you cash in those penny rolls or dump that change jar at the Coinstar machine, you might want to take a closer look. Let's start with the 2003 Lincoln cent, a modern coin with extraordinary value when you know what to look for. What makes this particular penny so special isn't just its relatively recent date, but a fascinating minting error that transformed an ordinary 1-cent piece into a collector's dream. The 2003 double-die Lincoln cent is one of the most significant modern minting errors in American numismatics. For those who might be newer to collecting, a double die occurs during the manufacturing process of the die that strikes the coins. If the hub that creates the die shifts slightly between impressions, it creates a doubling effect on the final coins that's visible to the naked eye. The 2003 double die shows noticeable doubling on the word Liberty and the date, especially in the last two digits, 03. You'll also see distinct doubling in Lincoln's ear and bow tie when examined with a magnifying glass. This dramatic doubling wasn't the result of a simple misalignment. The Philadelphia Mint had implemented new digitized design systems in the early 2000s that were supposed to eliminate these kinds of errors. So when the 2003 double dies emerged, they represented something of an anachronism. Modern coins showing an error type that was supposed to be technologically impossible with the new minting equipment. This made them instantly appealing to collectors who recognized their significance. What's particularly fascinating about the 2003 double die cent is that it wasn't discovered until several years after it was produced. The coins had been circulating in pocket change before sharp-eyed collectors began noticing the doubling. Unlike some error coins that are caught at the mint and destroyed, these pennies made it into circulation, which means you genuinely could find one in your change today. Estimates suggest that somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 examples may exist, making them rare but not impossibly so. The value of a 2003 double die cent varies dramatically based on condition. A circulated example might fetch $200 to $500, which is remarkable for a penny minted in our lifetime. But here's where it gets truly exciting. In pristine mint state condition, particularly MS 65 or higher on the Sheldon scale, these cents can command $2,500 to $5,000. The finest examples, those graded MS 67 or MS 68 by PCGS or NGC, have sold at auction for over $10,000. In fact, a perfect MS 68 red example sold in 2019 for $14,100, an astonishing sum for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent. The red designation is crucial here. Lincoln cents are graded not just on their wear, but also their color. As copper oxidizes, it transitions from the bright orange red of a newly minted coin to brown. Collectors prize coins that maintain their original mint red color, and for the 2003 double die, this color premium can multiply the value several times over. A brown example might be worth $1,000 in high mint state, while the same grade with full red color could fetch $5,000 or more. There's a fascinating story behind the discovery of these coins that illustrates the community aspect of numismatics. A collector in New England was sorting through rolls of pennies in 2004 when he noticed something unusual about a 2003 cent. After examining it with a loupe, he posted images on a coin forum, setting off a chain reaction in the collecting community. Soon, others were finding examples in their own searches, and dealers began offering bounties for additional specimens. This organic discovery and the subsequent excitement demonstrate why coin collecting remains such an engaging hobby. The thrill of the hunt is very real. Another captivating aspect of the 2003 double die is that it sparked a renewed interest in searching modern coinage. Many collectors had focused their double die searches on earlier dates like the famous 1955, 1969, S, and 1972 double die cents. The appearance of a significant double die on a 21st century coin reminded everyone that even in our modern era of precision manufacturing, remarkable errors can still occur. For those wondering how to identify a genuine 2003 double die versus a counterfeit or a less valuable machine doubling, there are several key indicators. True hub doubling shows separation between the doubled elements, with both impressions showing the same depth and detail. Machine doubling, which occurs during striking and has much lower value, typically shows a flat, shelf-like spread with less detail in the secondary image. Authentication by a third-party grading service is always recommended before making any significant purchase. I want to share a personal connection to this coin. Back in 2005, I was giving a presentation at a local coin club when an elderly gentleman approached me afterward with a 2003 penny he'd found in his change. He'd heard about the double die, but wasn't sure if his coin showed the doubling. Together, we examined it under my light, and I'll never forget the moment when we both saw the clear doubling on Liberty and the date. His hands were shaking as he realized he'd found a coin worth hundreds of dollars in his pocket change. This is the magic of numismatics. Valuable treasures can still be found in circulation if you know what to look for. The 2003 double die cent also holds economic importance beyond its collector value. In an era when the U.S. Mint spends more than 1 cent to produce each penny, these error coins represent a fascinating economic anomaly. Pennies that are actually worth far more than their metal content or face value, due solely to human interest and collector demand. They're tangible reminders that value is often determined by rarity and desirability rather than intrinsic worth. For those hoping to find their own 2003 double die cent, patience and persistence are key. Start by examining rolls of 2003 Philadelphia cents, those without a mint mark, focusing on the word Liberty and the date. Use a 5x to 10x magnifying glass, and look for clear, separated doubling, not the slight mushiness that can result from worn dies. While the odds are long, people are still discovering these coins in circulation nearly 2 decades after they were minted. The legacy of the 2003 double die cent extends beyond its monetary value. It's become a symbol of how traditional minting errors can persist even in our digital age, and it reminds us that modern coins can have significant numismatic value. Unlike some classic rarities that are financially out of reach for average collectors, the 2003 double die represents an accessible treasure, a valuable coin that anyone might find with enough dedication and knowledge. What I find most compelling about the 2003 double die cent is that it represents a bridge between classic and modern numismatics. It carries forward the tradition of the legendary 1955 double die cent, one of the most famous errors in American coinage, into the 21st century. Yet it also stands as a testament to how even our modern minting processes, despite tremendous technological advances, are still subject to human oversight and occasional errors. In a very real sense, these coins humanize our currency, showing the fingerprints of imperfection on our otherwise standardized money. Now let's move on to our second featured coin, the 1961 Lincoln cent. While at first glance this might seem like just another common penny from the early 60s, certain varieties of this coin can command serious attention from collectors and substantial premiums in the market. The 1961 Lincoln cent was produced during a fascinating transitional period in American coinage. The late 1950s and early 1960s saw the U.S. Mint struggling with rising copper prices and increasing production demands as the post-war economy boomed. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 1.1 billion pennies in 1961, while Denver contributed another 1.7 billion. With such massive production numbers, you might wonder how any 1961 cent could be considered rare. The answer lies in a few extraordinary die varieties and errors that occurred during this high-volume production. The most valuable of these varieties is the 1961 D double die obverse. Unlike the 2003 double die we just discussed, the 1961 D shows doubling primarily in the motto, "In God We Trust," and in the date. The doubling is particularly pronounced in the words, "In God," where you can clearly see separation between the primary and secondary impressions. What makes this double die especially significant is that it occurred at the Denver Mint, which historically produced fewer dramatic double dies than Philadelphia. The story behind the discovery of the 1961 D-double die is a testament to the dedication of the numismatic community. For decades, these coins circulated unnoticed. It wasn't until the 1980s that a collector specializing in Lincoln cents identified the variety while examining rolls of 1961 D-pennies. This late discovery meant that most examples had already experienced years of wear and circulation, making high-grade specimens exceptionally rare. Unlike errors discovered at the time of minting, which might be saved in quantity, the 1961 D-double die had been losing potential mint-state examples to circulation for over 20 years before anyone recognized its significance. What truly distinguishes the 1961 D-double die in the market is its relative scarcity. While the 2003 double die might have 5,000 to 10,000 examples known, the population of the 1961 D-double die is estimated at fewer than 500 confirmed specimens across all grades. This comparative rarity is reflected in its market value. A circulated example in fine to very fine condition can easily command $1,000 to $3,000, while mint-state pieces with original red color have sold for $15,000 to $25,000 at major auctions. The record price stands at an impressive $32,900 for an MS.66 red example sold in 2016, a remarkable premium for a coin that was worth just 1 cent when it left the mint. Another fascinating variety of the 1961 cent is the so-called proof reverse, found on some Philadelphia minted coins. This unusual variety shows a much sharper, more detailed reverse design than typical business strike cents from that year. The most noticeable feature is in the Lincoln Memorial columns, which appear much more distinct and crisp than on regular issues. Numismatic researchers believe this resulted from the mint accidentally using a proof reverse die, intended for collector proof sets, in regular production. These proof reverse pennies typically command $50 to $200 in circulated grades, with mint state examples bringing $500 to $1,500. The 1961 cent also has historical significance beyond its numismatic varieties. These pennies were produced during the first year of the Kennedy administration, at the height of the Cold War and the beginning of the space race. The Lincoln cent itself was just over 50 years old in 1961, having replaced the Indian head cent in 1909. These coins were everyday currency during a pivotal time in American history. When suburban development was booming, the interstate highway system was expanding, and the first American, Alan Shepard, ventured into space. Holding a 1961 penny is holding a small piece of that historical moment. The metallurgy of the 1961 cent contributes to its collectability as well. These pennies were struck in the traditional 95% copper, 5% zinc, and tin composition that had been used for American cents since 1864. This composition would later change in 1982 to the copper-plated zinc we know today, making these older copper cents increasingly desirable for both their metal content and historical significance. A 1961 cent contains about 2.5 cents worth of copper at current metal prices, not a fortune, but enough that virtually no pre-1982 cents remain in circulation today. One of the most interesting aspects of collecting 1961 cents involves die progression errors. As dies were down during the production process, they sometimes created distinctive patterns or defects that can be traced through a series of coins. Some 1961 cents show progressive die cracks or cuds, raised areas where a piece of the die has broken away, which can be fascinating to study and collect as a series. These progressive die error coins can range from $10 for minor examples to several $100s for dramatic late die state errors. There's also an interesting variety known as the 1961 floating roof cent. In this variety, a die polishing error removed part of the line connecting the Lincoln Memorial roof to its supporting columns, making the roof appear to float above the building. While not as valuable as the double die variety, these floating roof cents still command a premium of $20 to $100 depending on condition and the severity of the missing roof line. For collectors and investors, the 1961 cent offers something that many modern coins don't: the opportunity to find valuable varieties in circulation or in inherited collections. While most have been pulled from circulation due to their copper content, many older collections, and penny hoards still contain unsearched 1961 cents. I personally know a collector who purchased a $50 bag of unsearched wheat and memorial cents at an estate sale in 2018 and found two 1961 D double die cents inside, a $5,000 plus return on his investment. Condition is particularly crucial when valuing 1961 cents. Because these coins are now over 60 years old, finding examples with full original mint luster and no spotting is increasingly difficult. Copper is highly reactive to environmental conditions, and many 1961 cents have developed spotting or toning over the decades. A pristine, spot-free 1961 cent with full red color can command significant premiums even without any noted varieties or errors. PCGS and NGC population reports show that fewer than 1% of submitted 1961 cents grade above MS 66, making gems in MS 67 or higher condition trophy coins for serious Lincoln cent specialists. I want to share a remarkable story about the 1961 cent that illustrates just how overlooked these coins have been. In 2012, a Midwestern bank teller who collected Lincoln cents noticed an unusual 1961 D penny in a customer's deposit. Having read about the double die variety, she exchanged it for one of her own cents and took it to a local coin dealer. The coin turned out to be not just a 1961 D double die, but one in nearly uncirculated condition, a coin that ultimately sold for over $12,000. What's particularly amazing is that this valuable coin had been sitting in someone's possession for 50 years without its significance being recognized. For those wanting to examine their own 1961 cents, look first at the date and the motto, "In God We Trust," for signs of doubling. Use good lighting and magnification of at least 5x. The doubling should appear as a distinct separation rather than just blurriness. Also check the memorial columns on the reverse for unusual sharpness that might indicate a proof reverse variety. And remember, these coins have been actively collected for decades, so patience and persistence are essential if you're hoping to find one in dealer stock or at coin shows. Finally, let's explore our third featured coin, the 2015 Lincoln cent. This very modern penny might seem too recent to have any significant value, but there's a particular variety that has the numismatic world genuinely excited. I'm talking about the 2015 Philadelphia cent with a double die obverse that ranks among the most dramatic modern minting errors. The 2015 double die cent was first discovered in early 2016 when a collector in California noticed unusual doubling while examining rolls of uncirculated 2015 cents. What makes this double die particularly noteworthy is the prominent doubling visible in the word liberty and in the motto, "In God We Trust." Under magnification, you can see clear separation between the primary and secondary impressions, especially in the letters B in liberty and God in the motto. Unlike some subtle double dies that require significant magnification to spot, this 2015 double die can often be identified with the naked eye by experienced collectors. What's truly fascinating about the 2015 double die cent is that it occurred in an era of modern digital design and computerized die preparation. The U.S. Mint had been using advanced technology specifically designed to eliminate these kinds of errors, yet somehow, this pronounced double die made it through their quality control processes. This makes the 2015 double die cent something of a numismatic anomaly, a 21st century coin showing an error type that was supposed to be technologically impossible in the modern minting era. The rarity of the 2015 double die is still being established as new examples continue to be discovered. Current estimates suggest that between 3,000 to 5,000 examples may exist, making it scarcer than the 2003 double die we discussed earlier. This relative scarcity, combined with the dramatic nature of the doubling, has created strong demand among collectors of modern-era varieties. Market values for the 2015 double die cent have shown impressive growth since its discovery. Circulated examples typically trade in the $100 to $300 range, while mint-state specimens with full red color can command $500 to $2,000 depending on the grade. The highest graded examples, those in MS 67 or MS 68 condition, have sold at auction for $3,000 to $7,500. A particularly pristine MS 68 Plus example sold in 2022 for a record $11,400, an extraordinary premium for a coin minted less than a decade ago. What makes collecting the 2015 double die cent particularly exciting is that these coins can still be found in circulation or in bank rolls. Unlike many valuable numismatic rarities that were recognized and removed from circulation decades ago, the 2015 double die is recent enough that uncirculated examples can still be obtained directly from banks or found in pocket change by lucky and observant collectors. This accessibility creates a democratic aspect to collecting them. Anyone with knowledge and sharp eyes has a chance to find one without investing significant capital. There's another intriguing variety of the 2015 cent worth mentioning, the so-called skinny ear Lincoln. In this variety, a portion of Lincoln's ear appears thinner than normal due to die polishing or damage during the die preparation process. While not as valuable as the double die variety, these skinny ear cents still command a premium of $10 to $50 depending on condition and the extent of the ear modification. They're also much more common, with tens of thousands likely existing in circulation. The 2015 cent holds additional interest for collectors because it represents the 6th year of the Shield reverse design that replaced the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 2010. This design shift was the first major change to the Lincoln cent reverse since 1959, making these recent coins part of a new chapter in American numismatic history. The shield design, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the Union, gives these modern cents historical significance beyond their potential era varieties. I want to share a remarkable story that illustrates the excitement these coins can generate. In 2019, a teacher in Oregon who collected Lincoln cents as a classroom activity with her students discovered a 2015 double die cent in a roll she purchased for the class. The discovery became a valuable educational moment, teaching her students about observation skills, history, and even economics as they researched the coin's value together. The teacher eventually sold the coin for over $1,000 and used the proceeds to fund additional educational supplies for her classroom, turning a 1-cent coin into a substantial resource for learning. The metallurgy of the 2015 cent also deserves mention. Unlike the solid copper 1961 penny we discussed earlier, the 2015 cent consists of a copper-plated zinc composition, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper, that was introduced in 1982 as a cost-saving measure. This composition makes these cents much lighter than their copper predecessors. If you hold a pre-1982 cent in one hand and a 2015 cent in the other, the weight difference is immediately noticeable. This lighter composition also affects how the coins wear over time, with modern zinc cents often showing more significant wear after shorter periods in circulation. For collectors and investors, the 2015 double die cent represents an accessible entry point into serious numismatics. While many classic American rarities like the 1909 SVDB or 1955 double die now command thousands of dollars even in lower grades, putting them out of reach for many collectors, the 2015 double die offers comparable rarity and collector interest at a more affordable price point. This accessibility has made it particularly popular among younger collectors and those new to the hobby. Preservation is particularly important for 2015 cents with the double die variety. The copper plating on modern cents can be easily damaged by improper handling or storage, and zinc-based coins are particularly susceptible to corrosion if exposed to moisture. Collectors who find these valuable varieties should store them in inert holders designed for long-term coin preservation, avoiding materials like PVC that can damage the surfaces over time. There's an interesting detection challenge that comes with the 2015 double die cent, distinguishing it from machine doubling that has much lower collector value. True hub doubling, which is what we see on the valuable 2015 double die, shows distinct separation between the doubled elements with both impressions having the same depth and detail. Machine doubling, which occurs during striking rather than during die preparation, typically shows a flatter, less defined secondary image with a shelf-like appearance. Learning to distinguish between these types of doubling is an important skill for anyone searching for valuable double die varieties. The 2015 double die cent also demonstrates how the internet and social media have transformed modern coin collecting. When this variety was discovered in 2016, news spread rapidly through online collector forums and social media groups, allowing thousands of collectors to begin searching for examples almost immediately. This contrasts sharply with the discovery of earlier double dies like the 1961 D, which took decades to become widely known due to the limited communication channels available before the digital age. For those who want to search for their own 2015 double die cents, I recommend obtaining rolls of uncirculated 2015 Philadelphia cents, those without a mint mark, from banks or dealers. Examine the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust," with a 5x to 10x magnifier in good lighting. Look for clear, separated doubling rather than the blurry appearance that can result from strike doubling or wear. The doubling is particularly noticeable in the letters B in liberty and God in the motto. While finding one requires patience and a bit of luck, the potential reward makes the search worthwhile. So before you dismiss those pennies as merely pocket change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small copper or zinc disc worth thousands of dollars. And even if you don't find one of these specific rarities, the hunt itself connects you to a tradition of curiosity and discovery that has animated collectors for generations. Until next time, happy hunting, and thank you for joining me on this numismatic journey.